Hi everyone, welcome to vocabulary session 14. So thank you so much for your response and thank you so much for your messages. Please like and subscribe to my videos as it will help me to grow this channel. So let's proceed with vocabulary session 14. So again in today's vocabulary we'll be discussing 25 new vocabulary words, and these words are very important because they will help you to explain your explanations easily, and sometimes students miss out on important words. Some of the words are very different today, so please focus on today's vocabulary. The first word is accessible. Accessible means that which can be easily reached or approached. The minister is always accessible, which means that it is easy to approach the minister. If you are staying in a hotel and sometimes the rooms of the hotels are located at very arcane places or very unique places, and sometimes it's not easy to access to your rooms, then you can also use this word in a shortened way. The hotels offer accessible rooms for its handicapped guests. Next word is amateur. Amateur means non-professional. So she is considered an amateur makeup artist because she does not get paid. So there are some people who try to get work in the labor market, but because of the fact they are not able to express or they are not able to sell the services in a very professional way, it is very difficult for them to get real clients. Next word is anarchy. It's a very important word. So anarchy means failure of the government or the absence of the government. Sometimes there are new rules and regulations which are implemented in the country for the benefit of the masses. But unfortunately, the government fails to communicate with the people, or the implementation of the law is not justified according to the current policies or due to the plethora of social evils in the nation. Apart from that, in every country there are so many antisocial elements who always act in a careless manner, or they always complain against the government. So the civil rights leader was arrested on the charge of inciting anarchy because he encouraged others to rise against the authority. Next word is antiseptic. It's a very easy word and all of us know about this word. So antiseptic is a substance that kills the bacteria. So when we are hurt and in case you have a wound, many times we use an antiseptic in order to clear the wound or in order to clear the bacteria which is impacting on that wound. So the antiseptic bottles were boiled in hot water to prevent sickness to the baby during feeding time. Next word is atheist. Atheist is a word which explains about people who do not believe in God. So there are some people who believe in God, there are some people who do not believe in God. So atheist means no belief at all. So the atheist wrote a novel disapproving the existence of a higher power or a supernatural or the highest form of power. Next word is autobiography. Autobiography means the story of a person's life written by himself. Writing an autobiography is a difficult task at times because there are so many things which are very close to your heart. And sometimes when you think about your past, and especially your childhood days and during the period of your adolescence, what all you did and how you acted at that particular time. So sometimes there were huge turbulences in someone's life, and because of the fact, writing an autobiography becomes very challenging. Next word is autocracy. So in India we have dictatorships, so we don't have autocracy, but at the same point of time, there are so many people in India who sometimes are against democracy, and they believe that autocracy must be utilized for some period of time in order to implement the right laws in the country so that the anarchy can be corrected. Next word is bilingual. There are many people globally who are able to speak multiple languages, and when you speak languages fluently, you become bilingual. For example, if somebody speaks in French, par exemple, si je parle un petit peu français avec vous pour le moment, ça c'est l'explication, ça c'est l'exemple pour une personne who est bilingual. So if I start speaking in French right now with you, so I can say I'm a bilingual person, I can speak in multiple languages. It is good to become a bilingual because if you learn more than one language, it is easy to explain your thought process, because knowledge of more than one language add on so many vocabulary words and so many expressions, and thus your fluency, or sometimes when we participate in an extempore or a debate or a declamation, it becomes a blessing in disguise. Next word is blasphemy. So blasphemy means a profane talk. Sometimes some people start criticizing other people, or sometimes some people start criticizing other religions, and thus they enter into blasphemy. The minister preached for hours about the sins of blasphemy against the church. Next word is cannibal. So, cannibal means one who eats human flesh. I know it is not usual, or it is highly unusual when somebody says, is it possible to eat human flesh? The answer is yes, because there are so many tribes who eat human flesh, and I have seen it on Discovery Channel, and I have seen some videos on some channels. So cannibal tribes are prevalent in India. In some of the horror movies, you have seen different ghosts who are cannibal in nature. So real tribes exist who are highly cannibal. Okay. Let's try to do a quick recap. Accessible is something which is easily approachable. For example, the minister's house is very accessible from my location. Amateur is a person who is not a real professional person. Somebody who is not able to sell his services in a professional manner. That person is amateur. Because whenever we enter into any kind of new activity, we always are amateur in that particular activity, and slowly and steadily, when we gain more confidence, when we try to learn about the different intrinsic and extrinsic factors or reasons, slowly and steadily we are able to sell our services in a professional way. Anarchy is the failure of the government. So anarchy explains the fact that there are so many social evils prevalent in the country. Antiseptic, it is applied to kill the bacteria, so it is an antiseptic cream. Sometimes people use it in order to clear their wounds or reduce the pain if they met with an accident. Atheist is a person who does not believe in God. So I have a friend who is an atheist. Autobiography is the story of a person written by himself. So in your lifetime you might have read numerous autobiographies, and some of the autobiographies are very motivating. So I recommend my students and my dear viewers to read autobiographies of your celebrities and role models, and there is so much to learn about people who have gained success in their time. So they have really worked hard. Autocracy is typically the opposite of democracy. So autocracy is a form of dictatorship, and it is a system of government of one person with absolute power. Bilingual is a person who is able to speak multiple languages. So many prime ministers are bilingual, and thus they are able to explain their viewpoint to the public in a very impeccable manner. Blasphemy is a profane talk. So let's not enter into blasphemy and focus on more areas which are highly pragmatic for us. Cannibal is a person who eats human flesh. So there are many tribal people globally, in Africa as well, who are highly cannibal. So let's try to do another set 11 to 20 now. The next word is contemporary. So I'm using this word very often, so it is good to discuss this word in the vocabulary part. So this answers to the question to many students who had asked me about the usage of this word and how we can utilize it, especially in writing essays. So contemporary means living or occurring at the same time. So contemporary medicine is much more effective than the medicines produced 20 years ago. For example, if there is a recent invention pertaining to a medicine, it is better to use a contemporary medicine as compared to the medicines which we used to use in our ancient times. But at the same point of time, we cannot ignore the fact that the medicines used in the ancient times, sometimes they are more effective, because in the contemporary era, the medicines are adulterated as well. So we need to ensure that whatever medication we are taking, it is absolutely justified and prescribed by our physician or our doctor. Next word is diplomacy. So diplomacy is a word which has its roots from international relations. So diplomacy is primarily a profession or a skill of managing the international relations in the best possible manner. So we can say diplomacy help to mediate the session between the disagreeing representatives. Suppose there are two different countries and the counterparts of two different countries do not agree on a decision, and then a neutral party enters, and the neutral party enters and behaves in a diplomatic manner. Whatever propositions or proposal they put across, so they are able to ensure that both the parties agree on some treaties or some components, and thus the agreement is possible or the meeting becomes productive. Because just in one session we cannot put all the odds together, so it's practically not possible, but still if they agree on some points in today's contemporary era, I think so it's a big success. Next word is edible. So edible is something which is absolutely fit to be eaten by the humans. So if you're eating your oil, it means your oil is edible. If you're eating any other food or any component, it is highly edible. Next word is egoist. Egoist means a self-centered or a selfish person. So an egoist person is never able to win the heart of others. So in order to win the heart of others, we need to be very pristine and we need to be very expressive with our emotions and with our arguments. So if you're highly argumentative, or if you're able to articulate your expressions or communicate freely with others, then it is possible to win the heart of others. Next word is eligible. So eligible means worthy of being chosen, It can be for a job, it can be for anything else. So if you're eligible to apply for a decent job, it is good that we should apply with our updated resume and cover letter. Next word is emigrant. So emigrant means one who leaves one country and settles in another. So on account of globalization, there are so many people who become emigrants. So when we discuss about globalization, globalization is a continuous process. So any process which is a continuous process, it becomes irrevocable. Thus we can say globalization is an irrevocable process, and thus different people become emigrants annually. Next word is eternal. Eternal means lasting forever. So if you are able to explain anything in a factual way or with absolute honesty or with absolute truthness, we can say truth is eternal. Next word is exhaustive. Exhaustive means dealing thoroughly with a subject. So when we discuss about the bilateral agreements or international relations, we need to possess an exhaustive knowledge, or we need to be highly cognizant about the subject that we are trying to deal. So in today's contemporary era, possessing an exhaustive knowledge is mandatory. Next word is extempore. So many students are very hesitant when they are asked to explain about their opinion on a particular subject. So extempore means when somebody gives you a topic and you don't have any time to think and spontaneously you need to explain about that topic. So if you spontaneously need to explain, it means you're participating in an extempore. And sometimes when we explain our thoughts neutrally in front of the audiences in an extempore, we do better than normal. So it's good to participate, because in this way your hesitation or the internal thoughts which you have collected over the years in your passive memory automatically comes out, and no one knows that your expressions might become highly eternal and they will live up to the expectations of the audiences. Next word is phonetic. So phonetic means a person filled with excessive enthusiasm in religion. So if you are fond of some religion, if you're fond of any passion, you can say I am a fanatic. So if a wife is explaining about someone, she can say my husband is an exercise fanatic who runs 6 miles every day. Let's try to do a quick recap. Contemporary means the modern era. Currently, so in today's contemporary era, education is pivotal to succeed. Diplomacy, the diplomatic relations or the skill that we gain in international relations. So diplomacy is required in order to conduct or run a business successfully. Edible is something which is fit to eat. So the different vegetables are edible. Egoist, it depends on your personality. If you are self-centered, you can say I am an egoist. If you are not a self-centered person, if you're not after the lust of power and money, then you're not an egoist. In that way, you are contributing to the society. Eligible, if you're eligible to apply for a job or if you're eligible to do any kind of task, it means you are allowed to participate and the conditions are absolutely met in the right state. Emigrant means a person who leaves one country and settles in another. So there are so many emigrants because of industrialization, modernization in today's contemporary era. Eternal is something which lasts forever, so love is eternal. Exhaustive, something is dealt in a very thorough manner. So Diplomacy needs exhaustive knowledge pertaining to that particular subject. So here the subject is international relations. Extempore is an act of participating in explanation when somebody doesn't give you time to think. So sometimes you need to explain about your thoughts or give a lecture on a particular topic, and it's a very lengthy lecture, 5 or 7 minutes explanation about a certain subject. Fanatic is the person who believes that the events are pertaining to your religion, and these events are filled with great deal of enthusiasm. So if you are doing something with great deal of passion, you can say I'm a fanatic. So let's proceed on to the next set of words. Next word is fatalist. So fatalist means one who believes that events are decided by fate. So the fatalist was not upset when he was killed because he believed that it was his fate. Next is feasible. Feasible means that which can be done. So getting 2000 signatures on the petition is highly feasible. Next is feminism. So feminism means a believer in equal rights for women. So by reading this word, there is a popular quotation which is coming to my mind. A woman takes care of her father in her childhood. She takes care of her husband in her adulthood. She takes care of her children in her old age. And yet she is not fit for independence. So this explains the situation of women in many patriarchal societies in India. So it's feminism can be explained with that prerogative. So when we believe in the equal rights for women, so we can recall about the popular movements of the 1970s and the 1980s when there were so many people who explained about the feminism and the rights, what women require globally to compete with men when they demanded equal pay as compared to men. Next is anonymous. Anonymous means unknown. So if you're writing a letter to someone but you're not writing your name, which means the reader might not be able to recognize who wrote these letters. So I can say, yesterday he wrote an anonymous letter to someone. Next word is hereditary. So hereditary is passed on from parent to child, a hereditary peer. So the tendency of modern times has been towards the breaking down of formal hereditary privileges. So let's try to do a quick recap. Fatalist means one who thinks that the events are decided by fate. You can say my elder brother is a fatalist, my younger sister is a fatalist. Feasible, something which is possible. It is feasible to visit 6 countries in a year. Feminism, we need to work in order to protect the rights of women, so that is feminism, or when they demand equal rights as compared to men. So again, it all comes under the subject of feminism. Anonymous is when we don't know who is writing something. So if you're receiving a letter which is without a name, or if you're reading a journal or an article, sometimes the writer does not mention his name. So it is highly anonymous in that prerogative. Hereditary is something which is passed on from one generation to another, so it can be related to some property because property is inherited by the next generations. And the hereditary is something which is constantly passed on. So the tendency of the modern times has been towards breaking down. It means because of the violations and because of the different kind of acts which are committed in the society, it is against this norm. Okay. So we are going to end this session here. So we are done with vocabulary session 14 today. So today again I have discussed 25 set of new vocabulary words. I hope this session is absolutely productive for everyone and you must have enjoyed these new vocabulary words. Please keep on looking at these vocabulary videos, because if you have ideas, you need the right choice of words to pen down your ideas, whether you're writing a letter or whether you're writing an essay or whether you participate in any kind of extempo. So if you want to be extremely fluent and if you want to gain the right communication skills, you don't need to worry now. You just need to go through the vocabulary sessions, and in case you want to participate in group discussions or you want any kind of career counseling guidance, you can always contact Adish Shin Overseas Consultants, and my mobile number is 8826360267, or you can write an email to me as well. I'll be happy to respond to your emails. My email address is jsilrohini@gmail.com. I'll put my email address as well as my phone number in the comment section as well. Thank you so much for looking at my videos and watching my videos. Please subscribe and like my videos, because it will help me to grow my channel, and I want to benefit all the students globally, because vocabulary and the language skills are absolutely possible, because we together can learn and we together can make a difference in this world. Thank you so much for joining the session. Wish you a wonderful day. Thank you very much.